David Wigan, 10-minute daily reality check. Today we're going to talk about something. Well, we always talk about something, but today we're going to talk about the new app that I want to launch. It's called the Self-Absorbed Meter. Every single time you do a self-absorbed task or a self-absorbed act towards other human beings, you will gain a point. 10 points or more in a day, you are an idiot. 20 points or more a day, you're an asshole. 30 points or more a day, you're a pure narcissist. 40 points or more a day, you are all of the above. We're going to call it the self-absorbed meter. Today when I was driving to the gym, I ran into self-absorbed man number one. 2 lanes, Westwood Boulevard, heading the direction I was heading. 1 car in the left lane, 1 bike in the middle of the right lane. In the middle of the right lane, the bike is not to the side where he belongs, but he was in the middle of the bike lane, of the car lane. Just sitting there, hanging out, doing his thing. So when the light turned green, I went around him, and it shocked him. You should have seen the facial expression. I went around him to the right. He looked at me. He was shocked. He couldn't believe that a car who belongs in the right lane had to go to the bike lane to go get around the bike that thought he should be in the car lane. Self-absorbed man number one. The other day I was driving around. Seems to be a lot when you drive around. A guy was in the middle of the intersection. Light turned green, light turned red on one side. He is lollygagging on his bike through the intersection, with his headphones on, with his laptop in one hand, obviously picking up a Wi-Fi signal, looking down, not giving a shit about anybody else. How many times do you wait at a stoplight and you have to wake the person up with the horn because they're busy texting or getting an email out or checking their stalkogram or their Facebook friends' postings? Self-absorbed moment. How many times have you dealt with somebody who just doesn't ever listen? They have one-worditis. They find the one word that they can throw back in your face and ignore just about everything else that you throw at them. We live in a world right now that rewards people for being self-absorbed. I was in the gym the other day. This girl was sitting on her phone texting. I wanted to work in. I looked at her, I said, "Can I work in?" And she took her headphones off and says, "I got 3 more sets." I looked at her and I said, "You've been sitting here for 4 minutes doing nothing but texting. The gym is shared equipment. You want to text, you can text at home." I said, "But I would like to use this, so if you'd like to text, I strongly suggest you stand over there and continue your text conversation while I work out. Then you can sit down and use the weights for exactly what they're meant to be used for. Not as a resting zone between SMS messages." She looked down at the ground knowing that she was self-absorbed. I do this shit all the time, by the way, because I get tired of self-absorbed behavior. Yeah, we are all selfish in one way or another. But when we're out in public or we're having shared common experiences like driving, laundry room etiquette, bikes on the road, gym, moving down when we were at Universal Studios, they tell you over the loudspeaker when we were there on Friday, "Please move to the middle of the row so other people can get a seat." So everybody takes the end of the row. And then when you need to walk over their feet and do the feet dance, they give you a look like, "Don't step on my feet." And I think to myself, I wouldn't fucking step on your feet if you just listened to what the person said and made room for others. Airplane etiquette. The stewardesses will tell you, wheels in, wheels in. Make room for other people. There's not enough overhead compartment space for everybody on this plane. So what happens? What do people do? They put it side by side. They don't listen to the steward, or the stewardess, or the flight attendant, whatever you want to call them, and they take a broom. Then when you go and you turn it around, they give you a dirty look like, what, oh, wait, I'm touching your bag? I'm going to break whatever precious stuff is in that bag? We live in a world that literally rewards people for being self-centered and self-absorbed. Facebook, you do a post on Facebook, you do something that's rewarding, you wait for your rewards, your likes, or whatever else, and the world keeps rewarding you for being self-absorbed, for talking about how wonderful you are to other people. We have this illusion right now, and it's illusion that's really dangerous. Because to me, there's nothing greater than to be nice to people. I let people in traffic. If they don't wave at me, then I think to myself, well, I just let an asshole in. But here's what happens. When we're constantly thinking about me, us, we're constantly thinking about our things, our life, our world, we miss out on connecting with other people. Connecting with people who, well, will certainly enhance your life by giving you a great experience of connecting, a great experience of joy, a great experience of actually learning how to work with other people. Kids are pretty self-absorbed, but they're also young, and they don't know better yet. Adults know better. Adults know better. We know better. We know that we should not be this way. But we live in a world where we're rewarded for our narcissistic behavior. We're rewarded on Instagram and Facebook and all social media. If we do something outrageous, like actually wake up in the morning, we're rewarded with a like. If we do something really spectacular, like make a great pancake, and put the pictures of the pancake up with the little smiley face with the blueberries and the chocolate syrup. And we get rewarded for that. We get rewarded for being a human being and doing small tasks. We're seeking validation from all the wrong places, and then we're not acknowledging other people, and we're not being kind. We're taking up 2 spots in a parking lot because we have a great car. I was with somebody the other day, and this car took up 2 spots, and I said, what an asshole, I should just park next to him. And the guy looks at me and says, nah, that's a nice car, just walk away. And I'm thinking, like, why would I walk away? We reward bad behavior because we all do it. And it takes all of us, well, a conscious, concerted effort for all of us to really work well together again. We need to start working well. We need to start reaching out, doing nice things for each other, letting people in traffic, not taking up a car lane when you're in a bike, amongst many other things. So I want you to ask yourself, and I want you to look at yourself today. And I want to ask yourself, how many times a day do you perform a self-absorbed act? Be honest with yourself. How many times do you do a self-absorbed act? How many times a day do you do something that would be considered self-absorbed behavior that wouldn't be in accordance with the laws of being nice, that wouldn't be something that suited other people? I want you to look at that, and I want you to ask yourself, why? Why the feeling of having to always be so wrapped up in your own world? Do you truly listen to other people? Do you listen to them? Do you hear them? Do you hear what they have to say? Or are you always trying to push your point across? Are you always trying to look at the world your way? And if you've got kids and you've got self-absorbed behavior, you're teaching the kids that it's okay to be self-absorbed. Hell, they're already self-absorbed because they're kids, and they should be. But in reality, what we need to understand is that there are other people on this planet, people who need to share the space with you. So how many times do you have a self-absorbed act that puts other people out? How many times do you go to the gym? How many times do you get honked at at a light because you were looking at texting? How many times are you riding a bike? How many times are you not letting somebody in? I want you to look today, and I want you to take responsibility for being nicer. That's it. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Wednesday. I will give to you, you will give back to me. Meaning, don't be self-absorbed. Share the podcast. I'll see you tomorrow. davidwygant.com